Machiavelli understood that perception governs reality more than affection ever could. The battlefield of life is not won by shouting, begging, or demanding. It is won by the man who enters a room and alters the air without raising his voice. That is aura, the shadow that commands. And the first enemy you face is mediocrity, the curse of being invisible. The man unnoticed is the man bypassed, dismissed, forgotten before he speaks. Aura is not expensive clothing, not cars or gold, not artificial signals of status. Those may distract the shallow, but true power is deeper. Aura is discipline made visible. It is controlled like armor. When your mind is steady, your body still, your eyes unhurried, people feel it, they sense weight. Where others are weightless, they lean toward you without knowing why. Aura is forged in silence, in restraint, in the 1,000 invisible decisions you make when no one is watching. Think of war. The strongest armies do not announce themselves with noise. They advance with order, and the enemy feels dread long before the clash. So it is with you. If you cannot command your own impulses, you radiate chaos, and chaos cannot bend the will of others. Self-mastery is the throne. Sit firmly on it, and people sense the crown even if it is unseen. Fail to hold it, and you will be treated as another servant in the crowd. Here is where most collapse. They confuse attention with power. Anyone can scream. Anyone can decorate themselves to demand eyes. But the aura bends well because it is quiet and immovable. The room feels the man who does not chase approval. When challenged, he does not rush to defend himself. He holds ground, calm, and the challenger shrinks. Picture a disagreement. Another man raises his voice, pushes to dominate. You remain composed, voice steady, words precise. He exposes his nerves. You expose nothing. The audience, whether 2 or 20, recognizes who truly governs. Do not aim to be liked. Do not aim to be seen. Aim to be felt. The invisible man is ignored. The noisy man is mocked. The man of aura bends the world around him without lifting a sword. Every step you take, remember this command: stand still, radiate weight, rule without noise. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Machiavelli's line was not about cruelty but about command of perception. The throne of power is built first inside the mind, because aura always begins where others cannot see. If your thoughts scatter like peasants, your presence will never resemble a king. The man who bends is the man who governs himself with absolute focus. Crown your mind with focus. Every distraction tolerated is a soldier deserting your army. When you let impulses dictate your attention, your aura leaks weakness before you even speak. Authority radiates from inner command. Hold your attention as a general holds the center of the field. Train it through reading, through measured breathing, through the discipline of finishing what you start. People feel steadiness in a man whose mind is not at war with itself. Walls of discipline protect that throne. Doubt, envy, and insecurity are like enemy spies. They invade silently if you leave the gates open. The discipline of thought is not denial of fear, but the command to redirect it. When others stew in comparison or resentment, you remain unmoved, and that composure signals to them a fortress they cannot breach. Modern life tempts you with constant noise, notifications, opinions, demands. Refuse them entry. Build your wall, command your gates, choose what enters your head, and people will sense the guarded strength in your presence. Imagine a heated workplace discussion. One man reacts instantly, his words rushing, his emotions spilling. Another sits in silence, calm, eyes steady. When he finally speaks, his words are measured, controlled, cutting through noise. The difference is not vocabulary, it is sovereignty. Authority is felt because one sits firmly on the invisible throne of his own mind, while the other staggers like a soldier without formation. To build an aura that bends will, you must master the throne of the mind, command focus as your crown, guard thought with walls of discipline, sit with unshakable composure so others feel the weight of your invisible throne. The battlefield of perception is won before words are spoken. Remember this mantra: rule the mind and the body becomes a throne. Your routine is the weapon. A soldier does not enter combat unarmed, and you cannot enter the day without preparation. Begin with deliberate structure. Stretch, read, write, or move. Each act is a blade sharpened. These are not habits for show. They are signals to your nervous system that you are sovereign, not reactive. When your body and mind know order, others feel it in your presence. The man who masters his morning carries momentum that others cannot see but instinctively register. The ambush is real, and it is modern. Social media drags men into comparison before they have even stood upright. News feeds ignite fear or anger that bleeds into every interaction. If you check messages first, you let strangers dictate your state. You become like an army ambushed at dawn. Stumbling, disoriented, exposed, the world senses disarray. Aura leaks when you enter a room distracted, eyes tired, posture bent. Avoid the trap. Delay the chaos until you have fortified your mind. Guard the gates as a commander guards the walls at first light. Victory in the morning compounds into authority throughout the day. A single decisive act, making your bed, lifting weight, holding silence, creates momentum that expands outward. Win the first small battles and your body projects calm strength. Your voice carries steadiness. Your eyes refuse to dart nervously. People read these signals unconsciously, and the one who has already secured private victories is treated as if he cannot be rattled. Remember, aura is not a costume, but an accumulation. Each choice stacks until the weight of your presence bends the room. Fail at dawn, and you spend the day repairing damage. Conquer at dawn, and the day bends to your command. Every morning, draw your weapon of routine, repel the ambush of chaos, and claim the first victory. Etch this command into your mind, win the morning, and you rule the day. Stillness is a weapon. In nature, the predator that pauses longest before striking is the one that inspires the greatest fear. A lion that stands silent, motionless, eyes fixed, creates more terror than one that roars without restraint. The same principle governs human interaction. The more you can master stillness, the more people project power onto you. Aura is not built in frantic noise, it is carved in silence. The predator's pause is your first advantage. When you hold yourself with controlled composure, others instinctively feel caution. A man who fidgets, shifts, or scrambles for attention signals weakness. But a man who moves little, who waits, who allows silence to stretch, radiates danger without a word. In the workplace, in negotiation, or in social exchange, those who can sit unmoved bend the rhythm of the room toward themselves. Command in silence is the second law. Human beings project meaning into empty space. When you do not rush to explain, defend, or interrupt, people assume depth behind your stillness. They lean forward, they wonder, they wait. The weight of your words grows not by volume, but by delay. A hurried voice loses authority. A measured response amplifies it. In conversation, resist the urge to fill every pause. Let silence serve you as a throne from which others must approach with caution. Strategic delay magnifies aura. Do not rush to reply to every message, email, or comment. Quick responses signal eagerness, sometimes desperation. Delayed responses signal deliberation, calculation. Sovereignty, weak. Sorry I took so long to reply. Strong, I reply when I decide. Weak, I'll get back as soon as possible. Strong, I'll respond once I've reviewed it. The framing is subtle, but the impact is profound. Delay forces others to adapt to your timing. Consider a disagreement. One man argues quickly, speaking over others, voice sharp with impatience. Another listens, steady, eyes calm, unmoving. When he finally answers, his tone is even, his pace deliberate. The first reveals insecurity, the second reveals dominance. The group feels the dictus without being told. That is the bending force of stillness. Aura is not noise, not constant motion, not restless proving. It is the atmosphere created when you weaponize silence and make others adjust to your rhythm. Do not rush, do not scramble, do not reveal urgency. Sit still, command silence and delay with precision until your words land like a blade. Etch this command into your mind. Move little, speak less, rule through silence. Aura grows by subtraction, not addition. Power is felt when nothing unnecessary clutters your presence. Think of a soldier's armor. Every piece has a purpose, every excess weight is stripped away. The same principle applies to you. What you keep in your life either radiates strength or drains it. Ruthless elimination is not an aesthetic preference, it is survival for your aura. The armor of minimalism protects you. Every object you carry, every word you speak, every habit you entertain, either sharpens or dulls perception. A cluttered desk signals a cluttered mind. Overloaded schedules show lack of command. Extravagant displays often reveal insecurity more than power. Cut back until what remains is deliberate, intentional, and sharp. A man who owns his space projects authority without needing to announce it. Excess is the true enemy. Clutter in a dress makes you look unfocused. Clutter in speech makes you sound unsure. Clutter in behavior makes you appear scattered. Weak. I think, maybe, possibly, we could try this. Strong. This is the direction we take. Weak. Over-explaining to earn agreement. Strong. Stating a position and letting silence hold it. Every layer of excess is noise that drowns authority. Remove it, and your aura hardens like steel. The death of weak habits is often the greatest transformation. A single vice, excessive drinking, chronic lateness, constant phone checking, can erode presence. People notice inconsistency faster than they notice talent. Cut one weakness, and your aura shifts overnight. Arriving on time every time signals reliability. Refusing gossip signals discipline. Ignoring distractions signals composure. Small eliminations create massive shifts in how others treat you. Consider a group debate. One man floods the room with words, stories, and tangents. Another trims every answer down to the essential. The first is tolerated, the second is respected. People lean toward the one who wastes nothing. Respect is not given to the loudest but to the most precise. Aura is an atmosphere of control. You cannot project control while carrying excess baggage. Strip down your speech, your actions, your habits, until only what strengthens you remains. Eliminate ruthlessly and protect your presence like armor on the battlefield. Remember this command: cut what weakens, keep what sharpens, rule through subtraction. Leaders throughout history have understood that power is theater, and every throne requires a mask. Aura is not simply what you feel inside, it is the image you project and the discipline to guard it. People rarely follow the truth directly. They follow perception, and perception is shaped by the mask of command. If you fail to control what others see, they will decide for you, and their judgment will rarely favor authority. A strategic persona is essential. The general does not let soldiers glimpse hesitation before battle, even if doubt lives within. The executive does not show panic to the team when markets collapse. The mask is not deception, it is leadership. You choose the version of yourself that projects stability, inevitability, and composure. When people sense certainty, they attach themselves to it, even when facts are unclear. Weak. I hope this works. Strong. This is the plan, and here's how we execute. The first drains confidence, the second commands it. Your face is the front line of this theater. Emotional leakage is the crack through which your aura collapses. A smirk at the wrong time, a frown that reveals irritation, an eye roll when you should be still, all of these weaken your presence. Consider a heated meeting. One man reacts visibly, showing anger, sighing, fidgeting. Another remains immovable, face calm, voice even. The second bends the room because others instinctively sense control. Authority is not about having no emotion, but about ruling emotion so that no leak betrays you. Command your mask deliberately. Do not confuse honesty with unfiltered expression. Restraint is not dishonesty, it is strategy. People trust the leader who seems calm in storms, not the one who shares every fear. Every movement, every glance, every pause should signal sovereignty. Protect your mask, and it protects your aura. Drop it carelessly, and your presence dissolves in seconds. Remember this command: wear the mask, project command, rule the stage of perception. Aura is forged when softness is cut away and weakness is executed without hesitation. A man who radiates danger does not need to raise his voice or clench his fists. His presence alone warns others that he is not to be tested. This is the inner assassin, quiet, precise, and lethal. In essence, you do not need violence to embody it. You only need to kill what dilutes you and carry yourself as if no compromise is possible. The first strike is against weakness. Identify the habits and patterns that broadcast fragility, nervous laughter, restless posture, apologizing without cause. These behaviors drain authority from your presence. Each one is a soft underbelly, inviting attack. Kill them. Replace apologies with acknowledgement. Replace fidgeting with stillness. Replace excuses with ownership. Weak. Sorry, I'm late. Traffic was bad. Strong. I'm late. Let's begin. The difference is small in words, but massive in weight. Each elimination makes your aura harder, sharper, more commanding. The second principle is the presence of threat. People feel when a man has nothing to lose. This does not mean recklessness, but inner detachment. If you appear dependent on approval, money, or validation, others sense it and exploit it. But if you move with the calm of someone who knows he can walk away, doors open. A negotiator who will not cling to a deal gains leverage. A leader who does not chase followers attracts loyalty. Aura is reinforced when others sense that you are prepared to act without fear of losing comfort. Predator energy completes the assassin's mask. Predators do not ask for space, they take it by essence. When you walk into a room, your presence should claim territory without sound. Stand grounded. Breathe steadily. Move with the economy. Do not rush to prove yourself. Do not compete for scraps of attention. Predators dominate because they conserve energy until the strike, and their calm radiates inevitability. You do the same when you let others exhaust themselves while you remain unmoved. Consider a sharp disagreement in a meeting. One man grows loud, defending his view frantically. Another sits back, eyes fixed, face unreadable. He listens without flinch, then delivers a single decisive sentence. The room quiets, not because of volume, but because of weight. That is the inner assassin at work. Few words, no wasted motion, but undeniable dominance. The aura that bends will is not decorated or loud. It is lean, focused, lethal in silence. You earn it by killing weakness, carrying threat, and embodying predator energy without apology. Make this your command. Kill the soft parts, radiate danger, move like an assassin. Aura requires fire. Without hunger, without energy coiled beneath the surface, presence fades into passivity. Every man carries a wolf inside him. Repress it completely, and weakness leaks through your posture, your tone, your decisions. Indulge it recklessly, and chaos consumes you. The art is in feeding the wolf enough to sharpen its teeth while keeping the leash in your hand. Controlled aggression, not blind rage, fuels an aura that others cannot ignore. The inner beast must be harnessed. Many try to bury their aggression, disguising it as politeness or passivity, but suppressed energy always escapes through nervous habits, insecure laughter, apologetic speech. People feel it as instability. Instead, transform aggression into fuel, channel it into training, into work, into stillness, so intense that others sense tension in your silence. Weak, I don't want to upset anyone. Strong, I stand by this decision. The wolf must not be hidden, it must be directed. Controlled rage is the second law. Anger misused is weakness. Anyone can explode, but outbursts reveal a lack of command. True presence is holding fire beneath the surface, without burning the room. Imagine a man insulted in public. One responds with shouting and flailing. He looks fragile, unhinged. Another stays calm. His eyes steady, his tone firm. His words are few, but the weight of controlled fire silences the crowd. Aura grows when others sense the storm you could unleash, but choose not to. The wolf among sheep is the essence of dominance. People instinctively register readiness. They notice posture that suggests strength, tone that signals certainty, movement that wastes nothing. They may not name it, but they feel it. A man who looks like he can handle himself, who projects hunger and confidence, bends interactions without effort. He is not feared for violence, but respected for the aura of a predator who walks quietly yet unmistakably among prey. In any group setting, this dynamic plays out. One man tries to prove himself with constant talking. Another listens more than he speaks. Eyes sharp, shoulders relaxed, words chosen with precision. The first demands validation. The second radiates threat without a gesture. Everyone senses the wolf, and everyone adjusts their behavior around him. To build an aura that bends will, you must feed the wolf, not starve it. Channel aggression into command, not chaos. Carry hunger in your presence, not your noise. Become the man whose readiness is felt even in silence. Remember this command: feed the wolf, control the fire, rule with quiet hunger. Life is a chessboard, and aura is built not by random moves, but by strategic positioning. The man who appears inevitable is the man who has already thought 3 steps ahead. Presence is not just what you show today, it is the invisible impression that you cannot be cornered tomorrow. Those who live reactively leak power. Those who position themselves before acting bend the board itself. Position before action is the first law. You must always calculate your stance before the move. In chess, amateurs chase pieces, masters control squares. In life, amateurs chase attention, masters control perception. When you anticipate outcomes, you carry calm, and calm radiates authority. Enter a meeting having prepared the facts, rehearsed the silence, and chosen the outcome you desire. Others sense readiness in posture and tone long before you speak. Aura is the quiet signal of a man whose position is already fortified. Calculated exposure is the second law. Never reveal what weakens you. Share only what adds weight. Oversharing drains authority because it gives others ammunition. Speak less, but ensure every word builds the image of stability. Weak. I'm not sure, but maybe this could work. Strong. Here is the direction we take. Weak. Revealing doubts to seek comfort. Strong. Holding doubts privately while projecting command. Aura grows when you reveal selectively, feeding perception without exposing vulnerability. Sacrifice as signal is the master stroke. In chess, giving up a piece at the right time terrifies the opponent because it shows control. In life, the same principle applies. Declining an opportunity, walking away from a deal, or refusing a trivial gain can project absolute strength. People read sacrifice as proof that you are not desperate. A negotiator who calmly lets go of a small advantage to secure long-term dominance radiates inevitability. By contrast, clinging to every scrap signals hunger and weakness. Picture a debate. One man argues furiously, trying to win every minor point. Another concedes a small detail with ease, then pivots to the decisive argument. The room leans toward the second man, sensing confidence in his willingness to give ground strategically. The sacrifice becomes a signal of deeper power. Your aura on the chessboard of life is the accumulation of positioning, exposure, and sacrifice. Plan before moving, reveal with intent, give away what costs little to prove you cannot be shaken. Each choice rearranges how others calculate your value. Do not scramble on the board of life. Govern it like a master who bends the game itself. Remember this command: control the board, reveal with purpose, rule through inevitability. Aura is not built once and left untouched. It is hardened daily through ritual, as steel is hardened by repeated fire. Without repetition, presence softens, and softness is quickly sensed. The Iron Will ritual is not a single dramatic act, but countless small resistances that accumulate into an indestructible atmosphere. Daily fire is where it begins. Every time you resist an impulse, whether to stay in bed, to scroll aimlessly, or to indulge in comfort, you forge another layer of armor. The man who trains his will through small victories carries those victories into the room. People cannot see the mornings you woke early or the temptations you refused, but they feel the residue of that discipline. It shapes how you stand, how you speak, and how you carry silence. Aura becomes the byproduct of private triumphs, repeated until they radiate outward. The enemy is weak. One break can undo what months of consistency built. If you present yourself as unshakable but then collapse at the first sign of temptation, the illusion fractures. People rarely articulate it, but they register inconsistency immediately. They may not know you skipped discipline, but they will feel your voice waver, your presence flicker. Command demands relentless reinforcement. Resolve is not an occasional tool, it is a chain of daily victories that allows others to trust your strength. Invisible training is the essence of aura. Those who carry discipline do not need to announce it. A body built through steady work, a voice trained through practice, an eye that does not flinch. These are noticed without explanation. You do not have to tell people you live with ritual. They sense it in how you handle pressure, how you respond under stress, how you hold composure in silence. In modern life, where distractions erode focus, visible discipline is rare. That rarity itself creates an aura. Imagine two colleagues. One explains constantly how busy he is, how hard he works, how exhausted he feels. The other never complains, never boasts, but delivers results with calm precision. The second commands respect, not by telling, but by being. His invisible training speaks louder than words. Aura is sustained by iron rituals of willpower. Build fire daily through resistance. Protect your resolve from cracks. Let your discipline radiate without proclamation. Do this and you carry a presence wherever you stand. Seal this into your mind with one command: forge will daily, break for nothing, rule through ritual. Aura reaches its peak when you become untouchable. The impression that nothing can pierce you is the final layer of presence. People instinctively bend to the one who cannot be shaken, because stability is rare and dominance is reinforced by composure. Untouchability is not arrogance, it is mastery of self to such a degree that outside forces find no opening. Cold distance deepens the aura. Aura decays when you give yourself away too freely. Oversharing thoughts, emotions, or validation dilutes the atmosphere of power. Keep parts of yourself reserved. Let others earn access. Weak: here's everything I think I want you to understand me. Strong: here is what you need to know, nothing more. Detachment signals strength, because it proves you are not desperate to be liked, understood, or validated. What is withheld becomes a source of mystery, and mystery feeds influence. The presence of a king is the result. A true king does not chase approval. He embodies inevitability. People bend not because they are forced, but because they sense the throne cannot be touched. Carry yourself with that same energy. Do not lower gossip. Do not compete for scraps. Do not beg for recognition. Your stillness, your restraint, and your selective distance communicate a higher ground. Even in everyday settings, at work, in conversation, in conflict, people feel when you are beyond reach. Picture a heated debate. One man grows flustered, raising his tone, desperate to be heard. Another leans back, unbothered, waiting. When he speaks, it is brief, calm, decisive. The room shifts toward him, not because his argument is louder, but because he appeared untouchable while others revealed weakness. To master aura, you must learn to become the fortress no insult can crack. The presence of chaos can disturb the throne that others acknowledge without demand. Hold your distance, control your exposure, and carry yourself as if no one can move you from your ground. Seal it with this command: stand untouchable, reveal nothing, rule like a fortress. Aura as a weapon is the next evolution. At this stage, words become secondary. You do not argue to win influence, you radiate control that makes opposition falter before it begins. The predator who has mastered stillness does not need to roar. The king does not need to announce he is king. The strategist does not reveal moves, yet the board tilts in his favor. Presence alone bends outcomes because people instinctively calibrate themselves to someone who projects inevitability. Weak: please understand me. Strong: this is what will happen. That shift alone turns dialogue into command. Consider a modern example. In a heated negotiation, one man fights for every word, explaining, persuading, overreaching. The other listens, unhurried, offers a single concession that costs little but appears generous, then closes with a firm decision. The room recognizes the second man as the authority. He gave less effort yet carried more weight because his aura was built through preparation, restraint, and strategy. He bends the will of others without demanding it. The convergence of all principles means you no longer chase validation, defend fragility, or overextend energy. You govern perception by governing yourself. Every law before this moment becomes instinct. The throne of the mind anchors you. The assassin within keeps you sharp. The wolf ensures hunger never dies. The chessboard keeps you 3 steps ahead. The mask protects composure. The rituals will reinforce your fortress daily. These layers combine into a sovereignty that others feel before you speak. At this level, aura itself is sovereignty. You rule not by dominance of hand, but by inevitability of presence. You do not need to be feared or loved in equal measure. You need to be unshakable, unbending, untouchable. The final command is etched in shadow: radiate sovereignty, bend resistance, rule without a sword. Power is never granted freely. If you wait for permission to command yourself, you will wait forever. Aura is not theory, it is practice, and the time to begin is now. Every day offers you a battlefield, and the smallest victories decide whether you radiate sovereignty or disappear into the crowd. Your daily command is simple. Begin with one ritual of silence. Guard your morning from noise, from screens, from chatter that scatters your focus. In silence you build weight, and that weight is felt by others before you speak. Next, make one act of elimination. Cut something useless, an excuse, a distraction, a weak habit. What you remove hardens your aura more than what you add. Finally, claim one victory of will. It can be small, resisting an impulse, finishing a task, holding your posture, but each time you win privately, you walk into the world with armor no one can see yet, everyone can feel. The cost of neglect is high. If you surrender mornings to noise, if you tolerate weakness, if you collapse at temptation, your aura dissolves. You will live unnoticed, bypassed, invisible, and invisibility is death to influence. People remember those who radiate presence, not those who beg for recognition. The one who bends the will of others does so because he first conquered his own. Modern life trains you to spill yourself constantly, to reply instantly, to explain excessively, to expose everything. Resist it. Aura thrives on restraint. Speak less, reveal less, but project more through composure and discipline. Weak, sorry, I'll try. Strong, I'll handle it. Weak, rushing to prove worth. Strong, holding stillness until others lean toward you. Each swap is a choice between invisibility and sovereignty. Your aura is not built by accident. It is carved daily, guarded fiercely, and projected without apology. Do not wait for validation. Do not ask for approval. Do not explain yourself into weakness. Begin today. Build silence. Cut excess. Win small battles, and let those victories gather into a force that bends others without effort. Seal this truth with your final command. Radiate discipline. Project danger. Rule without permission.